And I'm scared for Jake Paul just because I don't know if he's ever sparred anybody that large and that athletic that hits that hard, who's not sitting there trying to take care of him. And I'm nervous that, I mean, you see it multiple times when someone receives their first real beating and they're having post-concussion syndromes, they're having headaches, they can't remember things. It changes people as a fighter, and I'm a little bit nervous about that. But I mean, you got to give it up to Jake Paul. He must have a big old nut sack on him to think he can go in there and take out Anthony Joshua. I'm fired up for the fight, but I also am a little bit scared for Jake.
The words exploded from Demetrius Johnson, instantly igniting fight week. He declared, without hesitation, Jake Paul will knock out Anthony Joshua. Johnson, a revered figure, backed his audacious prediction by recalling Joshua's past stoppages, emphatically stating everybody's got a puncher's chance. This bombshell prediction defied conventional wisdom, sending shockwaves, challenging the narrative of an inevitable Joshua victory. It forced everyone to reconsider the impossible.
It put boxing still on the map because it keeps boxing relevant. Having exhibition fights like this, different celebrities and different things like that. I look at it as a fun thing for fans and stuff like that. I don't really take it seriously, because, we in the business of boxing. That right there is just, exhibition stuff. But I'm hearing they say it's a real fight. But yeah, it's a real fight because both guys are getting in a fight. I'm still the one that be thinking certain things are scripted as well too. So, but we'll see. I always say may the best man win, and main thing about it, may those guys go in there and have a hell of a lot of fun.
But not everyone echoed Johnson's conviction. Sean O'Malley, while acknowledging Jake Paul possesses serious power, proving it by knocking out previous opponents, quickly pivoted. He underscored Anthony Joshua's vast experience in elite preparation, suggesting that if Joshua commits to strategic boxing, utilizing his honed skill, he could dominate. O'Malley implied a careful tactical approach from AJ would negate Paul's raw power. The fight hinges on who executes better, a brutal test where one misstep could dictate the outcome, transforming anticipation into raw high-stakes drama.
If this was the Jake that was fighting Tommy Fury again, I would put the fucking house on Jake Paul. Because what I'm seeing now is far and away better than what I had seen before. Outside of a couple things we're going to get to. And the fact that Jake's been more active and Tommy's been on the sideline and Jake's gotten bigger. And there's just a lot of things that I would take into account for that. But he's fighting Anthony Joshua. So even with this improvement, it's still like you're not catching the level with your improvement that you need to get to be competitive in this fight.
Michael Bisping completely shut down any notion of a Jake Paul knockout. He scoffed at Johnson's analysis, firmly asserting Jake's power is not scary knockout power, nor would it compel Joshua to dance around the ring. Bisping forcefully pointed to Joshua's flawless, devastating performance against Francis Ngannou as irrefutable proof of AJ's clinical timing and crippling power. He declared Joshua operates on an entirely different echelon, making a Paul victory an absurd fantasy in his professional view. This stark dismissal highlighted a vast divide. Bisping further emphasized the sheer, undeniable size and experience gap. He highlighted Jake Paul's drastic jump from fighting Gervonta Davis, a 35-pound opponent, to now facing Anthony Joshua, a towering 260-pound Olympic champion. This massive disparity, Bisping argued, makes any David and Goliath narrative utterly unrealistic. Joshua boasts superior experience, hits harder, possesses a larger frame, and enjoys longer reach, rendering the matchup an impossible challenge for Paul by any logical measure. This stark reality check underscores the colossal undertaking Paul has committed to. Jake Paul, however, seems to relish this colossal challenge and the pervasive doubt. He articulated that this specific fight excites him way more than any previous bout, precisely because it represents a significantly harder test. Paul views the widespread skepticism and the underdog status as a golden opportunity to silence critics and unequivocally prove his capability on a much larger stage. He expressed genuine excitement about showcasing what I'm going to do to Anthony to the world, transforming the pressure into a potent fuel. Anthony Joshua, in stark contrast, maintains a serene and singularly focused demeanor. He made it abundantly clear his entire concentration is on reaching the highest version of himself, meticulously applying every lesson absorbed from boxing greats. Joshua stressed every movement is intentional, indicating a profound commitment to his preparation, leaving nothing to chance. He intends to flawlessly execute every technique envisioned: catching, counting, slipping, parrying, dancing, stepping, flicking a jab, double jab, and more, promising to be the absolute best version of himself on fight night. Demetrius Johnson, despite his bold knockout prediction, provided a nuanced perspective on why this particular matchup truly stands out. He explained that Jake Paul's earlier engagements, such as against Gervonta Davis, left lingering questions regarding size and the sheer realism of the contest. However, stepping into the ring with a genuine heavyweight like Anthony Joshua changes the entire picture, transforming the entire dynamic. This significant shift in opponent caliber, Johnson argued, makes the fight genuinely intriguing and a pivotal moment for Paul's boxing career, elevating it beyond mere exhibition status. Johnson further mused on Anthony Joshua's optimal strategy: getting on his feet, moving around, utilizing his immense range, consistently hitting the body, forcing Jake Paul to work and miss. Yet, intriguingly, DJ admitted he don't see that happen. Instead, he believes Joshua will be compelled to try to prove a point through brute force, potentially engaging in a more dangerous toe-to-toe battle. This internal strategic conflict within Joshua, the tactical master versus the dominant showman, is a fascinating unknown that could profoundly impact the fight's trajectory. Tim Welch offered a stark, unsettling perspective, admitting he's scared for Jake Paul. He gravely questioned whether Paul has ever truly sparred someone of Joshua's immense size, raw athleticism, and devastating power, especially someone not in there trying to take care of him. Welch issued a chilling warning: receiving his first real beating could profoundly change Paul as a fighter, citing the risk of post-concussive symptoms. While crediting Jake for his big old nutsack in taking the challenge, Welch's deep concern underscores the brutal, life-altering risks involved. Chael Sonnen, with characteristic insight, highlighted the vastly different stakes for each fighter. For Anthony Joshua, the objective is singularly clear: crush that man, get your hand raised, that's it. There's no ambiguity. However, for Jake Paul, Sonnen suggested a number of things that are going to be wins or not, regardless of the final score. This unique dynamic means Paul can achieve various forms of moral victory, even in defeat, while Joshua faces immense, unequivocal pressure for a decisive, dominant performance, making their psychological burdens vastly unequal. Despite the overwhelming physical disparity, Chael Sonnen also revealed a critical observation about Jake Paul's recent form. He confessed, "I have never seen him look so good." Sonnen noted significant, all-encompassing improvement, particularly in Paul's free-form movement and footwork during solo-heavy bag drills, showcasing newfound fluidity and power. This revelation of Paul's unprecedented sharpness adds a layer of unexpected intrigue. Yet, Sonnen tempered his praise with a stark warning: no matter how impressive Jake's power or improvement, it will likely not be enough to genuinely challenge Anthony Joshua at his elite world-class level. Amir Khan issued a profoundly serious warning, suggesting this bout could be the end of the entire influencer-to-pro boxing phenomenon. He expressed grave fears that Jake Paul could get hurt badly by someone of Anthony Joshua's caliber, with his immense power and seasoned experience. Khan stressed that one catastrophic outcome could permanently deter future influencers from entering the professional ring, highlighting the very real and potentially life-altering consequences. This grim assessment casts a long shadow over the fight. Khan then directly addressed the elephant in the room: persistent claims of a scripted fight. He adamantly hoped such rumors were false, warning that if proven true, it would tarnish AJ's career and his legacy irreparably. Khan emphasized that once a fighter's integrity is questioned, you're never going to be seen the same again, regardless of past triumphs, Olympic gold medals, or world titles. Joshua, with far too much to lose, should never risk such a betrayal of fan trust and his hard-earned standing. Deontay Wilder offered a rather detached perspective, viewing these crossover bouts primarily as entertainment that serves to keep boxing relevant for a broader audience. While admitting he doesn't personally take it seriously from a pure professional boxing standpoint, he conceded it's still a real fight since two competitors are genuinely engaged. However, Wilder then dropped a subtle yet potent bombshell, confessing, "I'm still the one that be thinking certain things are scripted as well too." This quiet admission injects a lingering element of doubt into the very fabric of such high-profile celebrity contests. Andrew Tate distilled the entire debate to its rawest essence. Everyone has a chance in a boxing match. He powerfully articulated that boxing remains the most watched sport in the world, precisely because it literally takes one punch to change everything. Tate argued that the mere possibility of the timeline where Jake Paul wins is an extremely interesting one for the entire world, captivating audiences regardless of the overwhelming odds. This perspective highlights the inherent unpredictability in raw human drama. Wade Plemons, a keen observer, readily acknowledged Jake Paul's significant progress, stating his current form is far and away better than what I had seen before. He cited Paul's increased activity and notable physical growth as genuine positives, even declaring he would put the DMN house on Jake Paul if he were to face Tommy Fury again today. Despite this glowing assessment of Paul's evolution, Plemons delivered a sobering truth. Even with all his improvements, Jake is simply not catching the level necessary to be competitive against Anthony Joshua, emphasizing the vast gulf in class. Plemons further elaborated on Anthony Joshua's likely mindset, echoing Demetrius Johnson's belief that AJ will come in to send a message. He anticipates Joshua transforming into a monster, relentlessly pushing forward behind his powerful jab, rather than adopting a cautious approach. Plemons expects AJ to aim for a destructive, definitive victory. While he doesn't view Jake as a one-punch knockout threat, he cautioned that Joshua's own aggressive recklessness could occasionally leave him in a vulnerable position, a small window of opportunity that Paul might, just might, be able to exploit. In light of this, Plemons surmised Jake Paul's ultimate strategy to make the fight a boxing match where he can avoid damage and diligently stay fresh for the 8 rounds. He posited that for Jake, merely lasting longer than everyone said you could would constitute a profound moral victory, surpassing any expectation of an actual win. Plemons himself expressed deep skepticism, candidly stating he doesn't see Jake going the distance, nor does he damn sure don't see him winning, setting a remarkably low yet realistic bar for Paul's potential success. Eric Jackman showered Jake Paul with significant credit, hailing his decision to take on one of the bigger challenges he could take. Jackman pointed to Paul's shift from fighting smaller opponents to confronting a genuine Goliath like Anthony Joshua, a man who decisively dispatched Francis Ngannou into the ether. While Jackman fully expects Joshua to beat the brakes off Jake Paul, he unequivocally stated that Paul deserves a lot of respect for signing up for that, acknowledging the immense courage required to step into such a high-stakes, seemingly insurmountable contest. Seasoned combat sports veteran Darren Till added a deeply personal perspective. Drawing from 20 years in the game, he bluntly declared, "I know that I'm not gonna fight Anthony Joshua," a powerful statement from a professional fighter. Till openly pondered whether Jake Paul is delusional, if the fight is an exhibition, or if there are under-the-table dealings at play. Regardless, he still gave big builds for Jake for stepping in, acknowledging the immense courage or perhaps recklessness required to face such an opponent. Till then, delved deeper into the terrifying reality of Joshua's power. He confessed, "I ain't afraid of them, but I'm afraid of fight. You come to me with Anthony Joshua." Till recounted sparring experiences where, despite facing hard punchers, none compared to AJ. He spoke of the dread of repeated powerful blows, highlighting the profound physical toll. This raw, honest admission from another fighter powerfully conveys the sheer, bone-jarring impact of Joshua's punches and the severe, potentially career-ending risks Jake Paul is willingly embracing. Shannon Briggs, the legendary Cannon, offered a grim prediction. On paper, this fight could end quickly if Anthony Joshua connects the way he's supposed to. Briggs ominously suggested that in a true all-out war, this should be his last fight, though he morbidly added, "Jake got enough money to pay for the hospital bill, so it's okay." Despite this bleak outlook, Briggs delivered direct, unfiltered advice to Paul. "Go all out, champ. Don't look back. Give him what you got. You never know, champ." This blend of stark warning and unwavering encouragement encapsulates the fight's wild unpredictability. As Fight Week reaches its fever pitch, the boxing world remains fiercely divided. Some predict absolute dominance, others brace for unprecedented danger, and a few even hint at unseen forces. Yet, one truth reigns supreme. This monumental matchup has undeniably seized global attention, whether it culminates in a brutal early stoppage, a shocking improbable upset, or an unexpected test of endurance. The inherent unpredictability of boxing, coupled with the profound individual edicts for both fighters, ensures all eyes will be irrevocably fixed on Joshua versus Paul when that first bell finally tolls, transforming mere sport into unmissable spectacle.